everyone. Welcome back to Keeping Up With The Chaldeans. I'm here with Hansee, Sessi, and Nick Hannawa, Lawyer of the Year 2017, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, and now 25. We're expecting for 26 also. We're doing an episode including Hansee, so it's Keeping Up With The Chaldeans, Keeping Up With Hansee. We're going to talk cannabis today.
Start this shit again.
Oh, yeah, no, we're good. So we're going to talk cannabis a little bit. Nick's going to fill us in on a lot of the industry, what's going on, the trends, the moves, the changes. Hansee's going to give his take. Nick, why don't you start off with just introducing yourself and talking a little bit about the
Thank you
industry.
very much. I'm here to either keep up with the Chaldeans or keep up with Hansee.
There you go.
I'm drinking water though. Guys.
Thank you.
You're sandwiched between the two.
Then you
I'm
ain't
playing
keeping
it
up.
safe tonight.
You're not keeping up.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
Okay.
So guys, thanks for having me back. I'm Nick Hannawa. I am an attorney. I'm also the chief legal counsel and vice president of Puff Cannabis Company. As you know, we're a 14 store operator in Michigan. We are opening our next location in Menominee, Michigan right now. So Hansee's a good friend. Anthony's a good friend. I've been on the show before in my other capacity as the CFJ, the Chaldean food junkie.
Yes, sir.
I'm still that guy at heart, but I've been very busy nowadays.
Still gotta eat. You still gotta eat.
Yeah, but we got to put in some more time for that. So it was good to be here, guys. Let's talk about the industry and answer some questions that a lot of people have.
What do you think one of the main questions is out there for the public and those involved in the industry these days? Like, what's the biggest hang up these days, and what's puzzling them?
I mean, I think it's broad. I think there's a lot of questions people are asking, as far as, like, and again, it's very broad. Like, what category are you talking about? Are they going to make it, not make it?
Yeah.
You get mixed news, right? You get people that love the game.
Yeah.
You got people that are like, what the F happened
Get
to
me the fuck out of here.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Get me out, I'm shutting down. And then you got people are like, that, we'll take it, and then,
So that's what's happening to those that are they're shutting down or want to get out. People are consuming them, eating, buying them up.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
listen,
yeah.
I mean, here's the deal with the Michigan cannabis industry. People talk about it all the time. They talk about the race to the bottom.
Yeah.
And, I think the bottom in Michigan was faster than what people thought it was going to be.
Yeah, I agree.
And there are some big companies out there like Puff that was able to persevere and weather the storm.
Yeah, absolutely.
And if you didn't build a brand early on and build a name early on and build your presence early on and position yourself correctly, then it's hard to be successful in this game today. And as an attorney and as the chief legal counsel of Puff, I hear stories all the time, unfortunately, of people that invested a lot of money that, quite frankly, feel that they were either conned of their money or just, lost their money completely. And the reason for that is because as they were trying to get their foot in the door and as they were trying to get into the game, they were late to the game and the market went down. So now opening up these facilities that people were previously spending millions of dollars on, that people were previously investing their, savings and making investments into, these facilities are no longer as profitable as they assumed they would be based on those projections. So that's why a lot of people have a bad taste in their mouth when it comes to the industry in terms of from an investment standpoint.
And I definitely agree, because it would cost you $5-6 million to get a grow, back in the day. And if, let's just call it $3,000 a pound, like, it was worth it, right? But when the shit's trapped at $1,000, you can't pay $5 million for the grow. And if you got into that grow during that transition, and here's the thing, the shit didn't happen like over years. That shit almost happened overnight as the drop to the bottom, and like little by little. Like, there was a point the product was $4,500, and there was a point the product was $3,000. And there was in between, and then $2,800 and $2,500. So I feel like people should have thought of that. Like, all right, it was okay for the guy to pay $5 million when the pound was 3,000, but if the product now is 1,200 or 1,800 and you paid $5 million for the spot, yeah, you have a bad taste in the mouth. So you're gonna lose if you pay too much for a business. I don't even care how much it's gonna make. Like you're gonna tank. And this industry, to me, is like nothing different from cell phones, more insurance, liquor, like anything we've been in, right?
Right.
It drops, but then it stabilizes, and then it's still a good business for the ones that have adapted and are running it. It's not as astronomical, right? But it's still good.
It's a great business for the ones, like I said in the beginning, that were able to build a brand. They were able to get their foot in the door in the early days, because the people who got in the forefront in the early days, they got to reap the benefit of those high times that you're talking about.
So
Now it's about who can survive.
Right, but is this just Michigan, or is this the entire country? Like,
Country.
It's not just Michigan.
how does supply and demand get so lopsided?
These trends happened in other states as well, and it's a trend that's a result of over licensing.
I see.
Okay.
Oh, for Michigan especially.
When a
We touched
state
base on that on the
gives
first
out
show.
too many licenses, it's a product of that, and everybody's going to try to jump in. And when everybody has the opportunity to jump in, it's going to drive the market down.
Sure.
Whereas we've seen historically and in present day, states that have capped the number of licenses have kept the market very high and very, very solid and very strong. So that's pretty much why that happened.
Yeah.
So how does Michigan stabilize itself, or the market, or the industry?
They need, and it might be too late, because I think it's probably stabilizing itself, but they probably needed a cap, and we touched base on this in the
But
first combo.
that's ship sale.
Okay, so that's
how do you
ship sale.
how do you cure it
Obviously,
now?
we've sat down with senators, and we've sat down with state reps, and we've sat down with the governor, and we've lobbied for a cap on licensing, because we believe that's obviously the clear-cut solution to stop any further licensing. There's more than
You're
enough.
talking about like cities and to certain cities
Well,
that
it's
are.
not even about. It's about on a state level. Stop it on a state level, because there's enough grow licenses out there, and there's enough plants in the ground,
Right.
and there's enough supply to supply the Michigan market. We know that because we see monthly reports of what's in the Michigan market, what's in Metric, which is the statewide monitoring
Yeah.
system, and we see that there's an oversupply, and there's more than enough supply.
Right.
And obviously, that's not the only solutions. Capping the licenses, stopping the black market, also stopping the illicit market from getting into the state license market, which still does happen from time to time.
That's where I was gonna interrupt a little bit. Like, it's not the black market that's ruining the industry. It's the metric market that, and again, I don't want to say like metric market ruined it, because metric market is legit, but the metric market is that's where the surplus is coming from. The surplus is not coming from a guy cropping 200 bows a month. The surplus is coming from everyone cropping 350 bows a week.
But 200 bows a month times infinity is going to move the needle, right?
What about when you're cropping 350 bows a week and you can't even get rid of it at any stores? What are you doing with 1,400 pounds a month? And that's the.
But you're licensed to do that.
You're licensed to do it, but you can't move it. It's too much, so you end up there.
He's talking about people.
I don't want to touch too much.
He's talking about rumors of the metric
Rumors,
market
yes.
taking their product
Allegedly.
that they can't sell. So we're talking about these people who invested in these grows, okay?
Right.
These people don't have the access to come walk in and talk to an operator such as us and just get right on our shelves and right in our doors.
Right.
They're stuck.
We have thousands of SKUs on our doors, and we're very particular about what SKUs we carry and which brands we carry, because we carry what our customer wants, and we carry the best brands. We don't have room to put every
You're
single
not going to
product.
clutter your shelves with.
So the rumor is that there's metric operators that then take that product and take it out of their metric system
Dump it in the
somehow
streets.
illegally and sell it into the streets. That's a whole nother story. But
Yeah.
I mean, whether you're doing that or not, it's just talk of surplus. We're just talking surplus,
Sure.
right? There's just an like there's more supply. There's so much, and only 8, 9, 10% of the Michigan population smoke marijuana. It's just a lot of weed. And then, as we were saying something earlier, you were saying something like, how does it go across, how does it affect the whole nation? Like, yeah, it's the product is dropped across the nation. The only thing saving certain states like AZ is you cannot, and this is where I wanted really you to come in here and touch base, because I touched base on the first show, and I don't know the law.
You got it right.
But yeah, no, because I was vague. I didn't get it right. But like Arizona, like you can't ship weed there. And at the end of the day, they have a cap, right? I think they got 176 dispensaries in the whole state. We got 1,000. Wow. Yeah. And then the grow is capped. That's the main thing. So like now your grow. So if you spent $8 million on a grow in Arizona, today it's worth 12. Today it's worth 15. It's still worth 8. Not like Michigan. You spend $8 million on a grow, it's worth 3.
It's limited.
2.
Yeah.
Nick, let's get a little
market.
not personal, but so people don't even know this. Me and Nick actually have a grow together.
Yep.
Outdoor grow.
In Michigan, licensed.
And I mean, shit, I'll let you take over on what we thought in the beginning to what it's been to what it's at. Have we lost? No. Did we make what we wanted? Go ahead. I'll let you.
So I'm currently the CEO and operator of that business, and it's a very big operation. It's an outdoor cultivation operation that we got into in late 2020. When we got into the business, the price of the commodity which we're producing, which is basically bulk cannabis distillate oil, that bulk oil was worth, let's say, $7,000 to $10,000 per liter of oil. Today, that same exact product is only worth $1,000 to $1,250.
Wow. See what happened?
Yeah.
So it's declined by 6 to 10 times of what it was in 5 years ago.
Right.
And the reason for that is what we've been talking about, over licensing. So there's lots of other competition out there, and there's also an illicit market that people believe exists and probably does. And the CRA is always, trying to stop these bad actors, as they refer to them. And they're, doing the best they can with the abilities that they have under the law, because they're not a policing agency. They're just an enforcement agency that enforces the rules of the cannabis rules. So they can't go out and arrest people, but they can shut you down, revoke your license, suspend your license, etc. So because of that, those two things combined, it's driven the price down. So a business that you once projected 5 years ago, you were going to make $20 million off each harvest, you're lucky to gross $1 to $2 million off each harvest.
Gross.
How crazy is that?
Yeah.
To
It
gross.
is what it is.
What kind of difference is that, though?
Right. No,
So
that's for sure.
when you're grossing 10% of what you thought, and the license cost is still the same, as a matter of fact, the state discovered that people were getting licenses under what was called the excess grower license, so it was cheaper, and they were doing it under the MRTMA code. They raised the fee, and now they were getting medical license, so they raised the fee of the medical licenses. So last year our licenses were approximately 220,000, and this year they were 420,000.
Oh, so it's getting
Brings us to make no
everywhere.
money.
both
Right.
sides.
So we have 40,000 plant count at this particular facility. So that's 400 with the municipal fees, which are 100,000, because it's 5,000 per license, and we have 20 of them.
Yeah.
With that, we're at 418,000 with the state and the municipal
Annually.
just in license fees. That doesn't include operations costs. That doesn't include costs of bulk, of nutrients or whatever else you need to operate a business such as that.
I think you just brought something to my attention. I ain't gonna lie to you. I think that's something we need to lobby against, because before it was okay to pay those fees. The game is not the same. We should not be paying these fees anymore.
The fees,
They let too many.
fees are supposed to be based on some formula where they go down as there's more licenses.
They haven't done that though, right?
This fee in 2019 or 2018,
Went up.
it was like $40,000.
Yeah.
Then it went
Can
down
we
to
lobby
about
that?
15.
Can we lobby that?
It's still
Is there
very
an
high
asso-
considering what.
Is there an association or an organization that that backs you guys as
used to
licenses,
have it.
as licensees?
We still have it, lobbyists
right
and
now,
shit.
right
We
now,
still
our
have that.
biggest
Lobby's different. Lobby is a
Okay.
different
Right
thing.
now,
That's not my language.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. Right
it's
now,
not
our
my
biggest lobbyist in this business is the Chaldean American Chamber of Commerce. Martin Manna and them are
Yeah.
the
So
ones
these
that are
people-
supporting us the most in terms of they're in direct contact with the director of the CRA. They literally any issue we brought to them, they brought it to him, and we do have a monthly meeting that we all participate in where we discuss this. But we don't have an official organization.
Why not? So why don't somebody should start one because to the chamber, is that what you said? The chamber.
Yeah,
of
like
Commerce,
they're
Chaldean
not.
Chamber of
They're.
Commerce? That's a little tiny component of their inner workings. Like they
Right.
got lottery going, they got
Right,
liquor
right,
going, they got everything
right.
else going.
Well, yeah, I'm
They
just
got
saying they're
community
literally
services
the
going.
only one.
Why is that? Why is that? Why don't you guys get together and form a coalition or
There are other coalitions out there, obviously, smaller ones, probably ones that I'm not thinking because I deal most directly with these guys, but with our chamber, obviously. But the thing is that a lot of people have had talks about let's get everyone together and let's do this.
Tried
And
that
again.
twice.
There was a price war that's been going on for
Right.
5
I
years.
tried that
Yeah.
twice in the price war. I swear
And
to
the
God.
price
I tried
war,
that
the
twice,
prices
guys.
have been going down and down and down. If you're gonna come open up next to me and sell the same item that I'm selling for a fraction of the price, I'm gonna have to jump in and do that as well because I'm gonna have to compete. So that's also there's been a lot of friction and tension. I don't think anybody's really been able to do.
No,
And who do you get together? You got to get everybody on board.
I'm gonna. When it was less people, way less people in the industry, I tried to get it together on the garden supply, and everyone knows the garden supply who you are. And then in Bay City, I tried to handle it on the retail side of the dispensaries. I know everybody. People voted me in. Hey, call everybody, figure this out. And that shit tanked twice. Our people are the worst. I swear to God. I love our people. You guys aren't the worst. I didn't mean that. But like, you make a deal, right? And like, you got 5 people, everyone's on the phone, you get them all together. And how are we gonna, if I couldn't do it with 5 people, how are we gonna do it with 125 people? Like how?
It's because it's desperation time.
I think
in
what
a way,
Well, they're
right?
learning. I'm not gonna lie to you, so I'm glad you said that because the industry was that race to the bottom, what you mentioned earlier. But at one point, sometime about 2-3 years ago, people really realized, hey, we ain't making no paper, bro. We
Right.
got all this paper, and like, what are we doing?
Right.
So, and it's not that everybody got together. It's just that one person did something, and people follow, and that's how it is what it is.
I mean, quite frankly, I mean, the Chaldean community is known to be very sharp retail operators.
Sure.
Our family and our ancestors were retail operators. So
100%.
when you give us a license to do business, just like we did in the liquor store business,
Yeah.
we're going to do it, and we're going to use sharp techniques and tactics to make sure our businesses thrive.
Yeah.
Like I said, the ones who were able to get in the beginning and thrive and weather the storm, we've all, luckily are where we're at. We're thankful for that. We've established a business, but it's unfortunate to see people shut down. We don't want that. We want the
Right.
industry to
But
thrive.
right now it's your industry versus the state.
So
'Cause the
I
state
just-
is gouging.
So I don't want to like veer off or whatever. I think it's important. And again, the audience needs to understand we're trying to talk about years and years of stuff, and fit it in like a 30, 40
for
minute
sure.
episode. But like you said something about the liquor stores. Okay, when the Hudaya had the liquor stores, they did not open one on every corner. They did not. That didn't happen till we had it. They didn't open, like if a Hudaya had a liquor store, he would tell his cousin, hey, open a tanning store across the street. What we did was we opened the tanning store in the liquor store. What we did is we dropped our prices. Like, we've been doing this for a very long time, and like, I don't know, I just feel like the model's got to change.
Why does the model have to change? I mean, look at the accelerated benefit that we got from going from doing all of these things that we did to come from one generation into the next generation, and look at where we are now.
We established
I
ourselves.
definitely agree with what you're saying, but look, the way they ran those liquor stores and grocery stores, and now that you said that, look what they've accomplished. And look what, when they handed it, they basically technically handed it off to us, right?
Sure.
In a way, because we didn't own them in the 50s. Like, they owned them.
Right, right.
And when they handed it off to us, and I don't know if licensing changed. I wasn't born yet. I don't know what happened. But I do know there wasn't one on every corner. And I do
populations
know,
too.
Right.
and but I do know what they do is, like, if you sell the bottle for $1.10 in your Chaldean, and the Hudaya sells the bottle for $1.30, the Hudaya customer is going to go to the Hudaya. He's not going to go to the Chaldean for the $1.10. It was just a different system, and I really feel it worked for them. And I feel it
definitely
holds
worked
us,
for them.
I
That's
feel
why
it-
we try to model our our ways after theirs.
But I feel we don't. I feel it holds us back a little bit.
That's not true.
Will enlighten me,
Right,
because I love
because
conversation. I love conversation.
Honestly,
Yeah.
if you look at it as a community, we've
Yeah.
mastered and dominated every industry in Michigan, from real estate to
Well,
petroleum
I
to
think
hospitality.
Absolutely, 100%.
and
But-
You take any of our work
but-
ethic and you plug it in a different state, we'll dominate
I
it.
think
And I
what,
love-
I think
because
what
when
we
I
got
talk
to take
to-
away from this, though, Hank, is I think what we got to take away from the
Tell
whole
me.
thing is that if you're thinking about getting into the cannabis industry in Michigan at this point, you
Missed the
not
boat.
do it.
Yeah, yeah.
You missed the boat. Both sides.
So,
and
yes and no.
and the strong
There's no.
survive.
Wow, how was that? No.
Okay,
How was there
if
no?
you're a big timer and you're trying to get in the game and do big shit, probably not. But if you're a guy that maybe, it's not small, like a little
Right,
smaller.
that's what we're talking
maybe,
about.
Okay, smaller.
We're trying to get a.
If you had a, if
We're
if
trying
you,
to get
if
an
you got a-
entrepreneur who's investing their life savings in a business that they think is going to be the end all
ain't
be
the
all.
one.
Don't do it.
Yeah.
The big dogs are here.
That's
Everybody's
a little-
established their
that's-
roots.
that's-
different when you're talking
that's
about
different.
investors and
yeah,
this and that.
Yeah,
of
that's
course.
different.
If
But
a
I'm also
company's-
talking about like a guy that maybe wants to get like one dispensary and get his foot in the industry, and he hasn't got
not
nothing
good for them.
going. It's
it out of
not.
town.
Listen, it's not good for you if you think you're going to make $2 million a year, because you're not. But if you want to buy yourself a good career and make $200,000, $300,000, $400,000 a year because you're only making 80 where you're at,
Yeah.
maybe it's a good thing. Because right now, guys,
Well, how's he going to make it if the big dogs are around him and they squeeze him
I don't
every
know
day?
how.
He
He
ain't gonna
can't make it.
He's not
He
going to
can't
this is
make
the
it.
only way you
because-
can make it. You find you.
And
There's
what's
no
going to
way.
stop someone from moving a big dog from
The
coming
big
around
dogs
across the
have
street?
the big
A
dogs
brand.
have the buying
Well,
power.
yeah.
The big
The-
dogs
yeah.
have the control. The big dogs control the market, and the big dogs are the
They
ones
do.
that are gonna.
Yeah, you won't have any product on your
There
shelf.
isn't
No,
many.
but guys, I see a different angle right now of like I can go pick up a dispensary or a grow for a lease. A lease. I'm not putting up $5 million. I'm not putting up $2 million. A lease. I can go get a grow right now for a lease. I can go get a dispensary for a lease.
What are you going to do with the product? Where are you going to get the product?
Well, see, and that's
You're
what's
different.
messed up. Exactly.
Because you're
that
already
worked
in the
out,
industry.
so you guys are
Yeah, yeah.
right. For the new guy, like it's gonna be tough. But again, I'm going low. I'm talking to the guy that's looking for a better way out. Maybe he's
Go
making
get a
eight-
Soroki's pizza, brother.
Oh, that I would. Hey guys, I would rather get into the food industry than the marijuana. I'm actually trying to get into the food industry, and I'm
There you
happy in
go.
the marijuana industry. So yes, I agree with you, brother.
sure.
I definitely agree with you.
We want the best for everyone.
Yeah,
so that's why
absolutely.
we want
I
to
mean,
give everyone good
It's good advice.
I mean, yeah, I'm gonna say this. I think only, if I had to guess, and you might know better, only 8 to 10% of the public smokes marijuana in Michigan, right? Population, but everybody has to eat.
Yeah.
Everybody needs gas. So maybe the
Needs a
marijuana
haircut.
industry, it might seem cool, it might seem, but yeah, I agree with you guys on some points. And
But you guys are hiring, aren't you?
We're
Which
hiring.
company?
Listen, if there's a good person out
not
there
the
that
bag. Hold
needs
on,
something,
we're not
they're
hiring. at
welcome
the,
to reach
we're
out
not
to Puck.
hiring at the outdoor grow. That's
No,
for
no,
sure. We need a loan.
So you are hiring, right?
You know, we're always hiring. We have an entire HR staff and team that anybody's welcome to go to shoppuff.com and click on, we're hiring. And
Oh, you're gonna
it'll
just
direct
plug up
you
on
to
my
a
show.
page.
You're gonna. Just
You invited him, brother.
Part of the gig.
The gig.
We're hiring.
We're
too.
happy to entertain anyone
Guys,
that's out there.
You didn't pay the
You
man.
know what we should do? Instead of that nice guy that Hank was talking about that he wants to
put in the
have
game?
him call me, maybe they're a smart person,
Yeah.
and we can give them a regional manager job.
Guys,
Regional
honestly-
manager, hell yeah.
Honestly, though, I'm glad you said
They'll make
that.
more
because-
money doing that than owning their own dispensary.
So real quick, it's
Absolutely.
funny because I was talking to this kid that works for me, and I'm like, why aren't you? Because he used to work at a dispensary, and I'm like, so why aren't you applying anywhere else. He goes, oh, I don't know none of the owners. And I go, dude, the game has changed. You don't have to know any of the owners. You give up your resume.
Right.
Jars, Joeology, Puff, House of Dank. Guys, jobs, these people have 400 employees, 1,000 employees. You want to get into the end. You shouldn't be an owner, maybe, but if you want to learn and get in the industry and have a good job and a career,
There's a lot of room
there's
to grow.
growth.
A lot of
Big
guys
growth.
that started off with our company as bud tenders and some
Are
of
now
them started off
managers.
as receptionists. They're managers. And they're
Regional managers,
managers and
inventory managers, making 6 figures or a good high figures, making a good life. So that part of the industry, yes,
culture,
get in.
it's a family.
'Cause, yeah, we don't want to confuse people. Like maybe you shouldn't be an owner and
Right.
like invest, but
Right.
like the smaller guys,
100%.
entry level jobs, getting in. I think that's great, bro.
100%.
What else do you want to cover before we close it out?
Me or Nick?
Both.
You.
Yeah. You
You.
pick
Not
the
sure.
you pick the topic and Nick will polish it up.
I'm hanging with Hansee right now.
Hanging with Hansee.
we
No,
decide that already?
keeping up with Hansee.
Just honestly, if we can touch base, if you can, and I don't know, I don't think you've seen the show, but like the law, the federal, right?
Let's talk about that.
So I said
That's a good
something.
thing to
I
talk
said
about.
something. I said, guys, I told Anthony, oh, it's like tobacco. You can't ship, you grow. I didn't mean that every state grows its own tobacco. That's not what I meant. The liquor laws, because I got a couple comments, when I
You
went
meant like
places.
the stamp for the cigarette pack.
Yes,
has to be in the
yes,
States.
and
The
you
tax.
you're gonna have to get it maybe distributed.
We knew
from
what
a
you meant,
certain-
but-
maybe the other guys didn't.
Everyone
You
that
did.
knows you knows
yeah,
you.
yeah,
So go ahead, touch on that. Nick.
Everyone that knows.
yeah, there it is.
So let's talk about what on the federal level. Good thing, a couple days ago, President Trump came out and he's made his position clear that he wants to think about medical marijuana. Of course, he's going to start off with that. You know, he's not going to go straight for the kill.
Yeah.
But there is an election coming up in a year and a half, and I think that the topic of marijuana is very important to a lot of people.
Absolutely.
A lot of Republicans. I'm a Republican. I'm a strong Republican, and obviously, I want what's best for my business. So I want the president that I voted for to support our industry and realize that we're operating under state laws. We're not looking for federal legalization. That's a huge jump. What we're looking for is descheduling of marijuana, which is a fair and right thing to do.
Fair and right.
And I think he took a step in that direction, right?
Yeah, they took a step. It's up for decision. It was up when Biden was around, but then obviously we know how that nightmare ended for him.
Yeah, right.
And for us, we're better off now. But we need Trump, and for him to come out and give that hope.
a big
When
deal.
he did that, the stock price of all the marijuana companies that are publicly traded on the Canadian Stock Exchange soared.
Wow.
Okay,
It's amazing.
It's what everyone's been waiting to hear. So
It
that
is.
that glimmer of hope on the federal forefront is something that we're really looking forward to. One thing about our business is I don't know if we've discussed or you guys discussed, but we're taxed so harshly. We're taxed as an illegal
We have
business.
not discussed that yet.
We're under what's called the 280E tax code, and it costs us a lot of money.
That's
It
an
costs
Al
us a lot of
Capone
money.
tax code, and that's when it came up. In case you guys are not educated,
We can't write off normal costs like marketing expenses, rent expenses, labor expenses. So it costs cannabis companies a lot of money. Not just ours, every company in the country is under this.
So it's not it's not exclusive to Michigan?
It's not exclusive
No,
to
no.
Michigan. In
It's
fact,
federal.
in Michigan, on a state level, you could write off normal expenses like any business because we're a legal business. But on a federal level, you can't. You can
I
only
see.
write off the cost of goods sold.
Right.
So whatever
That's
your
insane.
total sales are minus cost of goods, you can't write off.
You want to know what else is insane?
Even payroll?
Even payroll.
You
Unless there's certain cases where payroll is related to something that's
cost of
related to a
goods,
cost
yeah,
of goods, but it's very minimal.
You want to know what's insane about that? They're basically saying this is federally illegal, and you're making illegal money. But if you pay us, we're good.
Yeah.
That's the Al Capone tax. That's what happened. And
Well,
that's
the
why he
theory
went to
behind
prison.
it is
Shoot.
the IRS doesn't care as long as they get their money.
That's what I'm saying. That's exactly what I'm saying. Like, do whatever you want.
Yeah.
Like, we're not going to grant it for you.
Yeah.
But if you pay us,
The-
we'll turn the other cheek.
The federal government made it clear that they're not going to come after marijuana. This was back in the Obama days.
Yeah.
With the Cole, with
Yeah.
what was called the Cole memo that came out where the DEA was told to lay off of enforcing anything that was state licensed businesses.
Yep.
Not illegal, but state licensed businesses. And you know, when that happened, that was promising. And then descheduling marijuana, that's the next hope, because once that happens, then we could have, you know, the safe banking and all that, where we can bank like a normal company, and you know, have those privileges, and just be treated like a normal business, which
Right.
we are.
Yes,
You know,
correct.
and we're subject to all other federal laws. Like, for example, we have 400 employees, like I mentioned. We're subject to all federal requirements, subject to all
Yeah.
federal laws.
Yeah.
So why are we treated differently in that aspect? So that's something we're hopeful for Trump to put into place. And if he does that, it's really good for federal reform for cannabis.
Right.
Yeah, that would be amazing.
Well,
That
let's
would be-
close this episode out,
Yeah,
gents.
Let's do it, guys. Thanks for having me.
For
Hey,
sure. Thanks for
thank
joining
you.
us.
Thank you for having me, Anthony.
Keeping Up With
There's a-
Hansee.
Yeah, stop it. I love you, bro. You're my brother.
We're signing off, gents.
Oh,
Take care, guys.
I'm getting used to it. We're signing off.
Shoppuff.com.
Stop with the plugs, man.